everything is rolling.
All right.
Okay, so so you guys know from me talking on vlogs and previous videos and whatnot that this was never meant to be our forever home. It was kind of a transitional home, and when Jameson and I moved here, we had a 5 to 10 year plan, and it's been 5 years?
Exactly 5 years on the 24th since we moved in.
So apparently we did a really good job.
We stuck to it. Stuck to our 5-year plan of being in this house.
Because you guys know that recently I announced on a video that we are moving. We got an opportunity and we decided to take it. And so, do you guys want to see our new place?
I think they do.
Here we go. Well guys, welcome to Teal Stone Homestead. I've been waiting to make this video for a while because for some reason I'm like nervous but very excited to show you guys, and I wanted to make sure that I captured it right, and that to me meant waiting for the perfect lighting and waiting until we knew exactly what we were doing. And we know now, and so I feel that now is the time to reveal it to you. This land is legacy property. So this land belonged to my parents and my grandparents, and they split it into 2 different sections. And now Jameson and I have a little over 4 acres to play with, and I am so excited. Obviously, there's no house here. We have a plan for that, and we are going to talk about it. So this land is the land that I adventured in as a child. We've lived in a big city in Indiana for about 5 years now, and so we've lived in the suburbs, and we have made it what we wanted it to be. I fell back in love with nature and growing food and raising animals. I fell back in love with that side of myself as we were living in the suburbs. And it almost feels like it's come full circle, and now I am back where I grew up. And I honestly, I never really thought that I would want to move back to where I grew up. I never really thought I would want to, but something in me clicked this last year. I'm glad that we waited until it felt this right to me, because we are jumping full speed ahead into this whole project of living here and the whole deal. This is home. I think this is perfect. I think that this place is going to allow us to do everything that we wanted and more. And obviously it's gonna take a long time to really get established here, because this is all wild, and that's what I always wanted. I always wanted to start with a blank slate, because I love making something out of nothing. And so far here, it is so wild, it is so untouched, and it feels like it is completely mine. It feels like I am able to raise something out of nothing here, and I am so excited for it. So this property is where my mom and dad first moved when they first got married, and they lived in a trailer, and they put a septic and a well and a barn down the hill, and this is where they lived. The barn means so much to my mom, and I'm so happy that I am able to capture that and redevelop it into something that is my vision, and that she didn't get to see it come back to life. And I am so excited. I want to do her justice. I'm excited about the barn. The barn is going to be a really fun project to really dig my hands into this fall. We're going to have the rabbits be put into the barn, all of them. They're all going to go down into the barn. The chickens are probably also going into the barn. We're bringing the coop here too. I don't know for sure where the chickens are going yet, whether it be in the barn or in the coop, but we're going to figure that out. And then the quail are probably also going in the barn. And we are getting electricity run to it, and we are getting some water run to it as well, so I finally don't have to carry water to my rabbits every single time I water them. Now, where are Jameson and I going to be living? Well, we are going to be living in a shed.
I mean, it started a couple months ago. I was just on the couch per usual, and Tiffany comes out of nowhere and says that she has an idea. Not to really look into it or anything. It's not like nothing for real or for serious. But what if we could build a 12 by 24 shed on her parents' land and live there for a year while we build our forever home? Home is where the people you love most are. Home is who you're with. And I decided that no matter where we go, whether it be in a tent, in a luxury mansion, a condo, or a shed in the middle of a field, it was going to be home, no matter what. I didn't think living in a shed was my idea of where I wanted to be at 30. Truth is, I had no clue where I wanted to be, as long as it was with her, and it was us. So in the end, I really had no reason to say no.
So what are your thoughts about living in a shed converted to a tiny home for a year or so?
I think it'll be an interesting experience, and one that I'm actually looking forward to, given that all of our basic needs are met, and internet's included, because my job is working from home. I also feel like it's a good chance to declutter.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Discover junk that I'm holding on to that I don't need, or what I can give away. And that's
a fresh start.
Yeah, that's always like it's a burden off of you. Not that there's much actually, and in the here and now, I think all of my personal belongings are either on my desk, which comes with, or boxed up and ready to go. And we are not planning to move until August, at least, after we list the house. Yeah. But I think it's going to be a great, interesting one, but a great experience. Living in those tiny quarters, something about a very little space where you can live actually feels kind of safe.
Yeah.
and comforting.
And I mean, we're selling most of our big things that we can't put in storage, most of them, but some of them we are going to put in storage for our future house.
Only a couple things.
But for the most part, we're really decluttering and downsizing and just kind of having a fresh start.
You really don't know how much you have until you have to take it with you.
Yeah. And how much stuff that you have that you're not using that is useless.
Not useless, maybe useful to somebody else.
True, yeah.
So it's actually been kind of a fun process so far. Got the wall all spackled.
Yeah, he's like way ahead of me when it comes to getting ready to actually get out of here. I need to start that. When we were planning the tiny house shed situation, we actually went to my parents' house, used a tape measure and some really big chalk, and we actually drew it all out to see if it was actually going to be a good layout. And we took drone footage of that, and that was a really fun thing that we got to do.
Would you like to see it now?
Here that is.
So you can see how we used a bunch of different colors to mark out where things were: walls, bed, kitchen stuff, toilet. You can actually see the toilet.
The John.
The John. I forgot I wrote that. I was being stupid. But you can see basically the layout from a bird's eye view, and it feels like it worked. And what you're looking at is a 12 by 24 space.
That's when we thought.
However, we looked into it, and Tiffany mentioned that you can actually buy prefab sheds at different locations, like superstores. We checked out 2, and we took a look at the catalog, and we found a 12 by 30 that comes complete with a 4-foot deck, wooden deck, which gives us a 12 by 26, so a little bit more wiggle room.
I think the deck really kind of made it for us too, because we did look at one option that was a tad bit cheaper but also smaller, but then we kept going back to the fact that we would have a covered deck to sit out like when it rains. How do you feel moving so close to family?
I always knew it would end up that way.
You always knew it would end up that way?
I always knew. I figured it was inevitable. I'm a pushover, and you really like your family, so. So, like I said, I had very little excuse to say no. And we're moving closer to my family as well.
That's true, yeah.
And that's a perk.
We will be a little bit closer to his family as well, and then we'll definitely, my family lives literally over the river and through the woods now.
Literally.
What are you most excited for about moving out there, being out there, and having this new lifestyle?
Maybe just the newness of it all. I'm just excited that it's going to feel like home. We already touched on this. We always knew that this was a temporary thing.
Yeah. 5
to 10 years, and we cut it to about 5.
Yeah. I mean, we really maximized everything we could.
We always knew that it would be temporary. We did our best to make it feel like home, but in the end, it's a house.
Yeah. It still has a special place in my heart, though, and I will cry when we leave.
Oh, she's gonna cry.
Just because I have poured in so much work to this place. I don't know, it's just special to me, so I will miss it.
Beginnings.
But also, I know that what we are going to is so much better, and it's going to be so much more amazing. I already feel like I'm detaching from this place, and that makes it a little bit easier, just knowing what's ahead of us, I think.
And you've got, 70, 80-something videos on YouTube over the past 2 years you've been doing Teal Stone Homestead?
Yeah.
Well, guess what? All of that was just the prelude. So stay tuned for, Teal Stone Homestead Chapter 1.
I am going to work really, really hard over the next year to make Teal Stone my full-time job. At first, it seemed like an impossible task to make that happen. It actually seemed laughable at first because I didn't know that talking to you guys and raising my animals, I could actually make a profit or a living doing that. because I always thought that I always needed a job where I worked around people. I'm not really a social person. I love talking to you guys, but I'm not really a person that can be out in public all day, every day. It is just not me. So the fact that we are living in a day and age where I am able to possibly work from home and for myself, doing things here and focusing on projects here, it is insanely amazing. I love that. And I'm very, very excited. So over the next year or so, you guys will probably be seeing many more videos and a lot more content. And I'm gonna try really hard to also start up classes for certain aspects of rabbit raising and homesteading. And I want this to develop into something much, much greater. And so keep watch for that. It's going to be a slow transition as we finally get here, but once we're in the shed, the tiny house, and we are getting ourselves established and we finally are kind of in there and able to just kind of chill out, I feel like that is when things are really going to explode, because finally my life is going to slow down. We are going to be debt-free after we sell our house. We've been working so hard for a long time now. Ever since we got out of college, it has been go, go, go. Trying to get every debt paid off and trying to get all of that out from under us, because debt chokes us. And so it has been so nice getting student loans out of the way. Once we sell the house, we will not even have a mortgage. We paid for the shed in full. We're paying for almost everything here in full. And then when we sell the house, we're gonna be completely free, and it is amazing. I cannot wait to show you guys all of the projects, all of the different things that we do here. We're still gonna be growing our own food. We're gonna have to build a whole new garden area, and you guys are going to be along for that entire ride. We'll probably be expanding the rabbitry. Oh, that's another thing. When we're done with the shed and we move into our house, the shed will become the most amazing rabbitry that you've ever seen. Now, I always thought that I would be building the shed myself. That's what I wanted to do, but it didn't really end up working out that way because we need to move here a little bit quicker than we would be able to build it. So we did go ahead and buy it because we found a good deal. We actually ran the numbers and found out that we wouldn't actually be saving a whole lot of money building it ourselves anyway. So I found something that is basically perfect for both living in and then transitioning to an amazing rabbitry / quail / hatching egg office for me once we have our house built. We still have to go through the motions. We have to fix things up at our current house. We have to sell it. We have to go through all of that process. We have to fix up the shed, insulate it when it gets here, make it livable, make it efficient. Once we have the shed all built out and everything is as we want it, we are basically then done with the hustle. So I'm so excited. So we actually didn't say where we were moving, but we're staying in Indiana. We're within an hour of Fort Wayne. We are actually moving just a little bit closer to central Indiana, but I mean, I still think that we're in northeast. I think that would still be northeastern. But yeah, so we're staying in the same state. So no geographical changes or anything like that.
It's all gonna be the same.
Yeah.
Except less houses and
yeah, a lot
more
less
family.
houses.
I think that's what I'm gonna miss. Just like we did put a lot of work into this place. We got a 6-foot privacy fence. I helped with the garden.
Yeah, you did. You did a lot with that.
We built this deck that we're sitting on right now. Tore out a roof in order to make that happen.
Yeah. We've done a lot of work here. We remodeled the bathroom.
We worked really, really hard, and we're just leaving it. And it almost feels sad, but there's been enough of time removed from doing that to where we've just had it, and it's just part of the house.
And it's been really good for us also to get these experiences here, and then when we move, we have this experience under our belt, so if we ever need to do something like this again, we can do it probably even better.
So how different and how much better or worse is your setup going to change? Because right now you have everything in the garage, but I know you were planning to have everything when we get to the shed you know, several dozen yards away. Does that, does it bother you?
That the rabbits are
walking
going to
through?
be down in the barn?
The rabbits are going to be down in the barn instead of just, you walk through the door and right there they are.
I don't think it'll bother me because we're putting in that frost-free hydrant, and so we'll have water down there with them. And plus, when we go get food, we can just drive down there and unload it. The winter might be a little bit of a hassle, but that's why I'm pushing for a four-wheeler.
Yes.
If we can afford a four-wheeler close to after we move there, I feel like that would be like a really good thing to get, because that would be very, very helpful. A four-wheeler and a wagon.
Do you have any plans to maybe double or triple the amount of rabbits you have?
No.
Given that you have all this freedom and space.
I don't think that I will double or triple the breeders that I have, but I can definitely see myself breeding a bunch of does all at once, because we're now able to kind of tractor them a little bit easier, because we have all of that field to work with. So I'm kind of curious to try that out and see how that goes. But yeah, I mean, I don't have anybody judging me on how many rabbits that I have. I don't have to worry about anybody coming to my house and telling me I have too many of them, because out there nobody cares.
Do you have any plans to actually get goats this year?
This year, no. Probably not. But possibly next spring. But I don't want to make any promises. It really just depends on the money situation.
I could probably get bees next year then too.
Yeah, we might get back into bees when we're there. I think that would be a good time to try it again.
I will be the man.
Yeah. He's gonna do the bees though, because obviously it is not my thing, but he actually really enjoys it. So I'm leaving that to him. Another reason to get a four-wheeler though.
Get away quick.
There are so many animals that I want to get that I want to talk about, but I'm not going to, because it's not realistic right now. I do want to get goats. You guys know that I've always wanted goats. I want to get some Nigerian dwarfs. I don't know when I'm gonna be able to afford them, because this is taking up a lot of our money, basically. We're gonna be broke until we sell our house. So I can't say whether or not they're happening anytime soon, but I want to get some Nigerian dwarf goats really, really bad. I find myself coming out of my shell so much more out here, rather than worrying that my neighbor is going to hear me talking to my camera. I find myself being able to really talk to you guys, and that makes me really, really happy. And that means more video content for you guys, more of me sharing myself with you, my family, our life, and just being able to bring you guys more awesome content in such a beautiful setting. I feel like a legit homesteader slash farmer. Should we change Teal Stone Homestead to Teal Stone Farm? Comment down below what you think, because I have been running this question around in my head for a really long time, and I'm not sure if I should call myself a homestead or a farm out here. But I need your guys' input on that. Which one sounds better? Comment down below, and we'll see what we do with that.
And last question, when everything is said and done, the house has been sold, we've gotten the check, everything is moved in, and we have one more day of PTO after we fall asleep in the shed for the first time after moving. When you wake up, what's first?
What's first?
What's first?
I'm gonna look out the window, because there is a window right next to our bed on the plan that we've made. And I'm going to look out that window and see the barn and see just everything outside, and I feel like I'm just gonna feel so peaceful. But I'm probably just gonna go straight outside and just start. I mean,
Can you put it on video?
yes.
Share it with everybody? All right, I'll hold her to it.
I'm so excited to share with you guys Teal Stone in its full glory. Bring it home, where Stone and I used to journey together through these fields, through this woods, the creek, everything. I'm just so excited and so content that I was able to bring Teal Stone home. The fact that I get to bring Teal Stone back to its origins and take hold of this land and make it into something beautiful is so invaluable to me. And I want to do it the best justice that I possibly can. I hope you guys enjoyed seeing this tour of our new homestead farm property. And with that, I will see you guys in my next video. Bye guys.